We need to work together, as I said, to address issues like conflict, instability, governance failures, poverty, and social discord. We need to create equal economic opportunities across the African continent. We also need to silence the guns, which is a very clear and firm position that has been taken by the African Union. We need to build inclusive institutions of governance. We must work for a future where Africans are able to migrate out of choice and not necessity. We have seen how unmanaged migration can undermine the sovereignty, the security and social order of countries, not only South Africa, but many other countries. As African countries, we have to acknowledge and address the conditions that drive migration in the first place. We need to work together, as I said, to address issues like conflict, instability, governance failures, poverty, and social discord. We need to create equal economic opportunities across the African continent. We also need to silence the guns, which is a very clear and firm position that has been taken by the African Union. We need to build inclusive institutions of governance. We must work for a future where Africans are able to migrate out of choice and not necessity. And we call on this Pan-African Parliament to take up the mantle of leadership, to be at the forefront of finding sustainable solutions to this issue. When I met the members of the Bureau before coming to this open session, they said, Mr. President, will you articulate what this Parliament should do in addition to what it is called upon to do? And it is this. This is this issue of migration that this Parliament must give leadership to. This Parliament must address this issue in a way that brings us all together, to work together. The measure of Africa's development will not only be the ease with which Africans can move across borders, it will also be the extent to which every African country offers all its citizens sufficient opportunity, dignity, and hope. As the honorable members of this Parliament, as the collective leadership of this continent, we have a responsibility to build a better Africa. It cannot and should not be the responsibility of the heads of state or certain countries only. It must be a collective responsibility, and all of us who are seated here are leaders, and that is why we were elected and chosen to come and represent our peoples of Africa. We have a responsibility to build a continent that is at peace with itself, where conflicts are resolved through dialogue and diplomacy, rather than through the barrel of a gun. It is a continent that produces everything that it needs. This is what this continent must be. That extracts from its abundant resources the full value that belongs to the peoples of Africa. Rather than exporting our raw wealth, we must process our minerals, our agricultural produce, and our energy ourselves. We are building a continent where our young people have the skills, and they are continuously demonstrating that they have the knowledge and the skills. We must also build a continent where capital and opportunity is there to build enterprises and careers on African soil rather than seeking them abroad. This is a continent where women should take their rightful place in the boardrooms, in the parliaments, in the cabinets of our various countries. and they must take their place not in the home only, but in the factories, in the various institutions that lead this continent. This continent must be a continent whose voice in global institutions matches its size, its history, and its potential. Long must be the days when Africa is always pushed to the back. Africa belongs to the front. We must lead the global events that are unfolding, because we are, as Africa, the origins of humanity. Humanity originates from this continent. We must therefore take our place in global matters.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Have you ever wondered what happens when a banking dynasty meets tides of world history, intrigue, and a dash of myth?
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.